everybody. Welcome back to Mike Warriors. My name is Hydrate, and I am accompanied today by a new co-host by the name of UCW. UCW, you want to introduce yourself to the fans?
What's going on, guys? I am User Unknown, and it is an honor to be stepping in for Alex while he is away. I just want to say thank you to DK and Hydrate for the opportunity. And I do kind of want to start us off with a little bit of a question. I know the heavyweight is pretty new around here. I'm also pretty new around here. I wanted to know, with your experiences in SMFC, what do you think this change is going to bring? Hunter has said that it's the biggest thing right now. Heavyweights are coming out, and they're showing out in their matches. What do you think we've got going on?
Well, that's a bit of a tough question. I've been around the block as a fan and as a podcaster, and I would have to agree with his statements that physically, metaphorically, in every other sense, that heavyweight division is currently the biggest prize and biggest attraction in SMFC right now. That is no discredit to the middleweight division, but naturally in the world of fighting, the bigger they are, the more eyeballs they're going to draw.
A lot of power punchers are coming in with the heavyweight division as well. As we can get into, as you're about to say, with Randall Radcore's first opportunity here in SMFC.
That's right. To start off the night, we had two debuting heavyweights, Trav Dog from Australia versus Randall Radcore. It was a very entertaining, very short fight. Radcore getting a first round knockout with a simple little jab, no style, all substance. I think he left a pretty good mark on his debut. What about you?
So Randall Radcore, in my opinion, he showed up and demonstrated just an amazing ability to keep your head low, throw your punches, place them well, walk in, walk out, get it done simple. I honestly wanted to see a little bit more from both of them, and with the way that Trav Dog took it in the middle of in his press conference afterward, I think the next time these two go in the octagon together, it's at least a longer fight.
I would have to agree. Now, if we're talking about smaller fights, that was a trend tonight, as was the middleweight fight. You want to talk about that one?
So Timothy Collins and Greg Hayes, man, so they took each other to war, in my opinion. It was a really, really good fight. What really did it for me, though, at the end, the taunting, the playing up, the talking to the crowd. I'm all about sass, I'm all about character, I'm all about having the ability to really just talk your shit. But when it comes down to somebody with the experience of Hayes, man, I think it might have put a target on his back more than it actually boosted his popularity.
Yeah, a lot of people are probably going to not take too kindly to the disrespect for a veteran by Collins, but a win is a win nonetheless, and he needed it badly.
Oh, it definitely made some naysayers shut their mouths, but I think he gave him something else to talk about now.
Yeah, switching topics like no tomorrow. And to continue said switching topics trend, we had another double debut heavyweight fight. Adam Thomas versus John Styles, again continuing the trend of fast fights, with John Styles picking up the win with a jumping switch kick in the first round, making a statement in his debut.
So John Styles and Adam Thomas have a little bit of history in the octagon, couple of amateur fights. They've done a little bit of training together, so I honestly am surprised that John Styles didn't knock Adam Thomas out sooner. In my opinion, Adam Thomas was moving around slow in the octagon. I could have seen one of those uppercuts coming from about a mile away, so it's honestly a little bit more of a shout to John Styles for letting Adam Thomas kick as long as he did. They had about 18 seconds, I want to say, left in the first round, so they almost made it out to the second. If the fight made it to the second, who knows what happened. But John Styles proved very obviously he can finish, and he can finish very fancily.
Yeah, good point. And back to the middleweight division for a second, we had a rematch from Brawl 63, Noah Chapman versus Hannibal Hansen. You want to talk about that one and how that one went down?
So Hansen came back strong, in my opinion. After the loss in 63, we were all kind of wondering how he was going to take it, if he was going to be able to come back, get on his feet, keep winning fights and get in there. He shut down Noah super early. He came out aggressive. He came out with more force. He stuck right to his game plan, and I think it worked out. What I want to say, though, is I really do think we're going to see a rubber match between these guys at some point to settle who really is the best.
Yeah, in this day and age, and considering the fact that they are 1-1, I would agree that we are gonna see a rubber match soon. We should see a rubber match soon, and it would be a disservice on the part of SMFC if we did not give that to the fans, because I can tell that we are not the only ones who would personally love to see that fight. Switching back over to the heavyweight division, we had a pretty high stakes fight for one person, as we had Tony Tornado versus Alex Behemoth. Tony Tornado making a statement claiming that he is next in line by knocking out Alex Behemoth with a front kick to the face. And people are saying, I'm going to say it right now, I think that after Hassan Malkova has his shot, Tony Tornado has next.
So that front kick was insane. I wanna say that. I wanna put some respect on that front kick. It came out of absolutely nowhere. And when Behemoth hit the mat, the whole arena went crazy. It was an insane fight. I do think that he has steadily closed in on that shot at Malkova for quite some time, and this one definitely put the final nail in the coffin on I'm ready for my shot.
Yeah. Okay. To go back over to the middleweights for our second to last middleweight fight of the night, we had the number 1 ranked Adrian Wilkins against the number 3 ranked Robert Zodiac. Wilkins has been trying for so long to get back to the title scene, but Zodiac just shut him down and positioned himself at the same time to possibly get the next championship shot at Walter Brooks.
The story's the same with the last 12 fights Zodiac's been in my opinion. He walks in, knocks the guy across from him out, walks out, goes home to his family. That's what we've seen the last 12 times. I honestly am struggling to say we're not going to see it a 13th time. What I want to know from you, though, as we all know, Zodiac is chasing Walter Brooks, the man who beat him back at Brawl 48, and he with a nasty overhand directly to the ear, might I add. We still haven't forgotten. If they meet again, is it the exact same ending, or is Zodiac getting his payback?
One would have to imagine that Zodiac is going to be thinking of that moment if they come to another fight. But I would have to say it's going to be a very different result, not just from Zodiac trying to change up his game plan, but also Walter Brooks, because it's a champion mindset. It's a thing, and it's really a thing with every fighter in general, that if you don't change things up from fight to fight, you're going to get annihilated because people are going to figure out your game plan. They're going to figure out what you're going for, and they are going to use it against you. So I think it's going to be a different finish, but the results, like the fight itself, is going to be a very, very interesting encounter for sure.
Both men are looking very different nowadays. It's been just a little while since they've been in the octagon together, and it's starting to get a little crazy in my opinion.
Up in the co-main of the night. Well, before we get to that co-main, I actually want to mention we've heard rumblings of Burrow Daniels. Will he come back? We don't know. We all know that after Brawl 50, he stepped away as a full-time fighter while remaining as a prize fighter, and we have not seen him since. But we've been hearing a lot of rumblings lately saying that he's been training and he's been wanting to actually come back as a fighter. What are your thoughts on that?
It feels more like a there's no set date situation. It doesn't really feel like an if anymore. It feels like a when. He left to be a prize fighter. He didn't leave entirely, so he always had the intention of coming back. I think now it's more of a permanent thing. For someone as big as he was to come back, though, it really feels like a heads up to the division, like, hey, there might be something coming. It might be a little premature, but welcome back, Daniels. Some tells me we're going to see you real soon.
And then in the co-main event of the night, we had the number 3 ranked Andy Knight, who before this fight was undefeated, going against the number 6 ranked Bryson Elite. Bryson giving Andy Knight his first loss in SMFC. What are your thoughts on that?
So you hate to see a fight go to the judges. Just in my opinion, you hate to see it go all the way. At the end of the day, a win is a win, though, and it happened to be one of the biggest wins that he'll get because he ended a undefeated streak with it. The judges decided that he was the better man in that, so in this situation, I kind of think that a judge victory is kind of cool. You know, you went three rounds with somebody who's been undefeated, and the judges picked you to be the victor. That's one of the only ways I like to see a decision victory, in my opinion.
It's like Hunter said in the press conference. The old guard is not moving out of the way for the new blood. Bryson Elite has been around for a long time, has been a champion before, and showed that he is not ready to give up a potential shot or title talks to a rookie.
Speaking of old blood, have you seen the pictures of Dustin Hunter?
I have, yes.
And you've heard the reports that he's been in the gym a lot more often?
I've been seeing those reports. Yes, it's very shocking. His retire. You never say never in any sport, especially fighting related sports. But Dustin Hunter's retirement back at Brawl 50 seemed final, for lack of a better term. Like it was like, oh, this is it. We're never gonna see him again. But to hear these reports and see these pictures,
he looking big now too, man.
Yeah,
He a little bit of muscle more on him than he did when we last saw him.
he put on some beef. Anyway, in our main event of the night, we had Walter Brooks, the middleweight champion, defending against the number 4 ranked Dad Trainer. This is actually a rematch from quite a while ago, as during Walter Brooks' rise to the title the first time, they fought, and DT, and this is an interesting fact, DT knocked out Walter Brooks in the first round last time they fought. But fast forward to now, Walter Brooks is a 2-time champion, DT gets a title shot, and DT is the one that goes to sleep in the first round with a very violent knockout, might I say.
Walter set the tone early. That first round knockout wasn't just for DT. It was to let him know that as a champion, he's a different fighter, sure, but it was also to let everybody know I'm not letting go of this belt. He's taken some tough losses in his career, and we've seen him come back. We've seen him be better than ever. He is way more on track than he has been, and he's building a lot of momentum. Granted, it's almost confirmed the next person who he's going to go up against is somebody who he's struggled to beat in the past. But tonight, he proved why he is wearing the crown at the moment. No shade to Dad Trainer. That man can fight. But Brawl 64 was not his night. Congratulations to Walter on a second successful defense. Here's to hoping for 3, in my opinion.
My God, though, that flattening him up against the cage like he was hanging a picture on the wall, that was fucking...
When I saw the white tape around DT's body with how he was up against that cage, I knew that things were different for all of SMFC. It's like the heavyweights have come in, and now everybody's like, well, we got to compete with that. We got to put on better fights. We got to hit harder. We got to do everything better.
Yeah. Any final words you want to leave the people with? Any other rumors we've been hearing around the mill?
So speaking of the heavyweight division, there is one guy who I've seen actually fight in a couple of backyards. I've seen him in a lot of amateur fights. Obviously where I was coming from was an amateur talk show, a little bit more of a big league for me. Mr. J Prince, the newest addition to the heavyweight division in SMFC. He is a straight up power puncher, and I mean straight up by the fact that this man is 6'3", so some of the guys that we've got in SMFC, he's gonna have to get pretty vertical on his punches. But I've seen this guy knock out people who are a solid half foot taller than him. So before we start worrying about his height, let's watch his debut and see what this guy's got. In my opinion, one of the hardest hitters in the sport right now.
It's going to be very interesting to see how he stacks up in a very star-studded division with the likes of Dustin Rhodes and Hassan Malkova. But I have a feeling that he's going to be a rather big star based off of what I've heard about him on my own time. But one can only see when he actually makes his debut. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for Mike Warriors. We're glad to have the show back. I've been Hydrate, and that's been UCW, and we'll see you all next time. Adios.